Welcome back to The Rhode Show. This morning in The Buzz, today President Obama is set to give a speech to the country's school children that's already drawn a lot of controversy. Now, in his speech, which is already on the White House website, the text at least, the president will tell students to make the most out of their education despite challenges. But not every student will be watching. Some critics accuse President Obama of promoting his own agenda. And a number of schools across the country say they won't show the address. Others are allowing parents to opt out of having their children view it. So, should it be mandatory? What do you guys think about this controversy, this idea that the president is giving this speech and people are critical of it?
It's not the first time.
Well, I read the text.
Yeah, it's not even bad.
I read the text, and frankly, I didn't vote for President Obama. And I have no problem with it whatsoever for my daughter looking at what it is. I mean, it's basically a pep talk that says, listen, if you want to make something of your life, stay in school, regardless of the hardships that you may have. And he lists a couple of people in there, a girl who's been through several foster homes who's continued to do well in school, a kid who's had brain cancer since the age of 3 who continues to do well in school, another student who, when she came to this country, couldn't speak English and is now, in fact, I think at Brown University getting a doctorate's degree, has done well. So he lists some illustrations, and basically he's saying if you don't do well in school, you're not only letting yourself down, you're letting your country down.
Absolutely.
And that's as most political as he gets. I don't find any problem with it whatsoever.
I read it, and
I don't get it.
He's eye to eye with the kids. He said, you know, I understand how easy it is to just plop down the TV and play Xbox all day, but the fact of the matter is you have to work
The only
hard.
one who loved that was Microsoft and Bill Gates.
Right.
He mentioned, you know, Xbox.
Which
but
is
the
an
other thing is,
American
and the president admitted it himself. Listen, you know, I've made some mistakes and I've had lots of second chances, but I kept plugging away at it, and I was fortunate. Talked about how he grew up in Singapore for a couple of years, and how his mother didn't have enough money to send him to an Americanized school, so she would wake him up at 4:30 in the morning and teach him different lessons, which he said, I hate it, and sometimes I fell asleep, and his mother would say to him, hey, you think this is cheery for me as well?
Right.
So I don't get it. I don't understand what the problem is.
I think people were looking at probably the timing and thinking that maybe he wanted to influence or indoctrinate the school children for something, and I just think the major criticism came before anyone heard the speech.
Exactly.
Now that the speech is out there and you can read the text, most people don't have a problem with it. But I do think parents should always have the option of whether or not to allow their children to be in or out. But Michelle Muscatello actually made a good point, because we were all talking about it this morning, and she said, you know, what about Pepsi and Coca-Cola indoctrinating children?
Right.
What about the fact that you see a lot of, across the country, a lot of schools have this News One program where they're forced to watch Coca-Cola advertisement or Pepsi advertisements or whatever it may be. And I thought that was a great point. Yeah, we did catch up with some parents, and I just wanted to have you listen to some of the parents, because they seemed a little bit split on the president's address. Some people said he shouldn't address the nation's school children. Some of them say it's okay as long as he sticks to education and avoids politics. Take a listen.
It's the trickle-down effect. So being that it's the president, it trickles on down to the children.
He only has a good message. Is it all about politics? No, not necessarily. It's just about being a good person.
So I just don't have a problem with it.
I just think this country has become so fragmented politically that if you dislike a politician, you just
have
blinders
everything
on, and you don't care what the person has to say or whatever they're saying that their intentions are.
Right.
And I think that's what the case is here.
I can understand why some people, if they didn't know exactly what I was going to say, would be like, whoa, wait a second. After reading it, if you don't let your child see this, I think it's disrespecting the office. I mean, it's completely clean. Well, and he ends it with God bless America.
Right. I mean, it's up to you. Obviously, it's up to the parent, and you know, you can't legislate parenting. Yeah. But that said, I don't understand why someone would not allow their child to watch this.
You know, I'm curious as to what people are saying this morning on the live blog on foxprovidence.com, because, Courtney, clearly a lot of people, you know, we heard that people are kind of split here.
We've got a lot of buzz on our Facebook page, and I do want to get to that in just a second. A couple of comments here on the live blog on foxprovidence.com. And one artist says you should watch the president. It's your duty. And Smokey Wolves does think it's up to the schools regarding, airing this speech here by the president. We have a poll here on FoxProvidence.com. We want to know, should local students watch President Obama's back-to-school speech? Choices are A, yes, as president, his message is important. B, no, he's politically influencing kids. Or C, only with parental approval. So you can check that out there. And if you are one of our friends on Facebook, you can, of course, read the wall here. We've posted the buzz. And TJ says, isn't that the great thing about America? You're free to do what you want within reason. If parents want their children watching it, they will watch it. Doesn't matter what critics think. And Daniel's on the other side. He says no, he doesn't think they should watch it. And he says he is not a conservative. And Denise says if you read the speech and he stays on task, it seems very positive. I don't see what the uproar is all about. So you can check that out there. And I also want to note that we will be live streaming that speech at about noon today on FoxProvidence.com, so you can check that out. But I'll be back in 30 minutes with your poll results. For now, back to the kitchen. Lily, what's happening?
All right, Courtney.